The Cherokee, a tribe of North American natives, have a long historical connection to the modern-day eastern and southeastern U.S. Before the arrival of European settlers, the Cherokee were the largest native ethnic group in North America. Unlike many native Indian groups, the Cherokee engaged European settlers in a relatively diplomatic fashion. Long before the Revolution, the Cherokee engaged the British in trade. Later, their economic alliance transformed into a military alliance, and in the course of this alliance, they established themselves as a formidable enemy and a trusty ally. However, despite their alliance with British colonists, they maintained peaceful relations with the U.S. government after the American Revolution. In this Liber-Tea episode, we will be looking into the history of the Cherokee tribe to understand the indelible mark that this fierce tribe left in the history of the U.S. According to the Smithsonian, the Cherokee culture celebrates spirituality, language, art, storytelling, and food. Their culture is fundamentally anchored on the desire to seek balance and harmony in the world. The Cherokee look to the spirits of the upper world to guide them in their quest for balance and harmony. The Cherokee believe that world harmony can be preserved if they engage in daily prayers, seasonal ceremonies, and rituals. Their language is a dialect of the Iroquois language. Like many other Native American people, the Cherokee ate foods that were either gathered or planted. Their main staples were squash, corn, and beans, which they referred to as the Three Sisters. They were also extremely good hunters who hunted rabbits, deer, groundhogs, and squirrels to supplement their diet and trade skins. They used stone tools to conduct their daily activities. Before the arrival of Europeans, the Cherokee inhabited the southeastern part of the North American continent. Their lands included present-day Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, and the Carolinas. According to their oral traditions, the Cherokee had occupied these lands since time immemorial. The Cherokee first met the Spanish explorer Hernando de Soto in 1540. This marked the beginning of a long and complicated relationship between the tribe and European settlers. Over the years, the Cherokee had become one of the continent's largest and most powerful unions of Native American groups and was a powerful military force. In 1702, the Cherokee allied with the British forces against the Tuscarora. In 1754, during the French and Indian War, the British and the Cherokee combined forces to protect the southern region of the Appalachian Mountains. Despite their combined efforts against the French, the Cherokee British had many problems. In 1760, for instance, a war broke out after dissatisfied and underpaid Cherokee warriors began raiding settlements in the Carolinas and robbing Virginia farms. The conflict was ended by the 1761 peace treaty, in which King George III issued a proclamation forbidding European settlement in Cherokee lands. While other Europeans ignored the king's order, the Cherokees' long history with the British may have caused them to fight alongside the British during the Revolutionary War. The Cherokees' involvement in the Revolutionary War had dire consequences for its people. Many Cherokee towns were destroyed by the U.S. Army, leaving thousands of Cherokee tribes destitute and on the brink of starvation. Seeing the destruction, the Cherokees sued for peace and lost thousands of acres of land to American forces. Following the land cession, the Cherokee and American forces entered into an agreement that allowed them to maintain some degree of political and cultural independence. However, General George Washington continued to treat the Cherokees as enemies even after the agreement. General Washington had ordered Captain Nathaniel Guest to take a company of Cherokee warriors to serve as hostages and scouts. The purpose of doing this was also to secure the tribe's corporation during the war. After winning the Revolutionary War, George Washington's hostile attitude towards the Cherokee dissipated. In fact, while giving orders to the individuals who would negotiate a peace treaty with the Cherokee, he declared that the administration of Indian affairs would be conducted per the principles of humanity and justice. In 1791, the U.S. government and the Cherokee entered a peace treaty, Holston Treaty. Pursuant to the provisions of the treaty, the Cherokee were given the right to enforce their rights against trespassers and were also empowered to enforce their territorial integrity. The treaty also allowed the U.S. government to control the tribe's foreign relations matters and trade. The treaty demonstrated President Washington's desire to promote peaceful relations with the natives while advancing American interests in the southeastern region. The Cherokee were, to some degree, assimilated and adopted a sedentary subsistence agricultural lifestyle. However, their transition to an agricultural society opened up their lands to European hunters. The loss of their ancestral hunting grounds and their trade of deerskins was a huge blow to the Cherokees. After the lapse of Washington's incumbency, peaceful relations between the U.S. government and the Cherokees began to deteriorate. During President Andrew Jackson's administration, Congress promulgated the Indian Removal Act 1830, which eventually led to the mass displacement of southeastern natives. Following this law, southeastern natives were forced to relinquish more of their lands and were relocated to present-day Oklahoma. This relocation, which we now refer to as the Trail of Tears, caused the deaths of over 4,000 Indians. The discovery of gold in Cherokee lands in 1829 played a critical role in their expulsion from their ancestral lands. Not all European settlers supported the displacement of the Cherokees from their ancestral lands. In 1832, John Ross and a few other leaders appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court to look into the matter. In its decision, the Supreme Court in Worcester v. Georgia declared that the Cherokee Nation possessed distinct sovereign powers. However, this did not stop their relocation. Despite the many injustices that were committed against the Cherokee during the Civil War, both the Confederacy and the Union appealed to them for help. Historical records indicate that most Cherokee warriors fought for the Union, but since the Cherokee Nation was split, some fought for the Confederacy. Today, the descendants of the Cherokee reside in Oklahoma, but those who avoided the displacement continue to occupy the mountains of North Carolina. Currently, there are more than 300,000 Cherokees in the U.S., and it is still the largest Native American group. Thank you for joining us in this wonderful discussion about the Cherokees and their contribution to the history of the U.S. Kindly like, share, and subscribe to the Liber-Tea channel for similar discussions on other Native American tribes. If you would like to chime into the conversation, feel free to comment below.